Ints and longs. So what we're going to look at is the difference between an int and a long. And we're going to also look at, in relationship to those, the maximum size of each. An int and a long both hold only whole numbers. The difference between an int and a long is how large of a whole number it can hold. An int can hold anything that's the size of -2 to the power of 31, or its maximum value is 2 to the power of 31 minus 1. So here we go. I create x as an int. I set it equal to math.power -2 comma 31. So that's -2 to the 31 power. And then I'll print it out as my minimum. X, I will then set equal to 2 to the 31 power minus 1. Let's create that as my maximum. Now, what happens if we go beyond the max or the min? So let's look at what happens when we go above it. So I'm going to add 100 to what is my max, 2 to the 31. And I'll print that out to demonstrate what it is. So let's look at what happens. So these first three here deal with the integers. So we haven't talked about these bottom three yet. So the minimum, -21474836648. So a very large number, and you can see that our maximum is also a very large number. Now look, my beyond and max are the same. You can't actually go beyond the maximum number. Now let's look at longs. The size of a long is -2 to the 63rd power, and the maximum value is 2 to the 63rd power minus 1. So it's even larger. The integer was 2 to the 31. The long is 2 to the 63. So I create a long. I set it the minimum value, -2 to the 63rd. I then set the maximum value, 2 to the 63rd minus 1, print them out. And let's also see what happens if we try to go beyond it. Now this time let's go to the minimum, beyond the minimum. So I subtract 100 from the minimum here, -2 to 63. So let's run this and let's see what happens. And again, these top three are the integers. So this bottom three are the longs. You can see these are really long numbers. Here's the beyond, and you'll notice it's the same thing as the minimum. So you can't go beyond the max, and you cannot go beyond the minimum for integers and longs. And that is the end of this lesson.